Mr. Wilson here, taking you through Jonty and Monty formation entries. So just reading through, we've got Monty's business, which is here, and Jonty's going to join, paying $90,000 for a 60% share. So we can do that first entry pretty easy. We can go debit bank, the $90,000, and credit capital for Jonty, 90,000. So that puts 90,000 in the bank, which Monty didn't have before, so Monty will be pleased about that. And Jonty's capital's 90,000. Don't worry if yours is not smiley faces, I might have made a mistake when I set it up. Alright, so the next part, Monty's going to contribute his business. Sorry, that's a 60% share. So you've been asked here to calculate Jonty's new capital. So if 60% is 90,000, then the other part is 40%. So to calculate that, we're going to go 90,000 divided by 60, which will give us 1%, multiplied by 40, which will give us 40%. So the new capital for, that should say, calculate Monty's new capital. New capital for Monty is going to be 60,000. So we'll bring that in at the end. So rules around this is that when we're bringing it in, the bank account, it tells us we're not going to bring that in. So see that 0? So we'll put 0. The rest of them we're bringing through at agreed values, which are these ones here. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to debit the assets. First one is accounts receivable. Now, accounts receivable is an outlier. It's different than the others. We bring that through at the original value. And the difference is going to be allowance for doubtful debts. So that's because 4,200 is owed to us. We only think we're going to get 4,000, but there's still a possibility of that 200. So we're going to bring that in a little bit later. And we'll bring in inventory. You can just go equals if you like. Bring in equipment. We're not going to bring in accumulated depreciation. And we'll deal with that soon. So inventory at the agreed amount. Equipment at the agreed amount. So the important part is this 50,000 is the cost to the new partnership of purchasing that equipment. So both of these ones here are now irrelevant. So I'm going to black them out. So the only thing important is the cost to the new partnership. And probably you'd check that that's a market value for the equipment. Maybe look on Trade Me to find out what the equipment would go for if we sold it second-hand goodwill. We'll leave that till the end. Don't forget your 5 spaces. And we're going to type in allowance for doubtful debts. Remember, that's the difference between the current accounts receivable and the agreed value. So there's 200, which we think we won't be able to get. Smiley face, great. Again, 5 spaces. And we've got accounts payable. And that's just the amount that we've got. And the loan the same. And lastly, I think this should be Monty's capital, shouldn't it? We'll just change it down the bottom as well. And we decided that was 60,000 as a 40% share. So now we've got all the credits in, the debits except goodwill. The goodwill is going to be the difference between the value of the credits minus the debits. So we're going to add up the credits first, minus adding up the debits. And that will be the goodwill figure. And that's it, folks. That's all you have to do. Good. Any questions, let me know.